Wind up, Jason! Your work isn't finished!
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Let's dance, asshole!
So we are going to be starting off the week by talking about another movie that fits perfectly well in the Halloween season. And I definitely recommend you guys to check out this one if you haven't already. But the movie that we are going to be talking about in today's video is Ernest Scared Stupid. And I absolutely love the Ernest movie, so this isn't going to be the only Ernest video that I do on the channel. Like, I actually do plan on talking about every single Ernest movie, which should be super fun. One thing in particular I can definitely say is that this movie just brought me a lot of laughs. Like, I remember every single time I was watching Ernest Scared Stupid, I used to laugh every single time. So if you guys have any thoughts of your own that you want to share with me when it comes to this specific movie, be sure to let me know down below, because I'm really curious to hear if there's anybody else that stumbles across this video that's actually seen Ernest Scared Stupid as well. So in Ernest Scared Stupid, Jim Varney's portrayal of Ernest shines because of the character's complete lack of self-awareness, because Ernest is absurdly confident, often attempting to solve complex problems with the most nonsensical solutions. Whether it's trying to fight ancient trolls using random objects, or charging headfirst into danger with no real plan. And his absurd approaches are consistently hilarious, and the comedy comes from his unshakable belief that he's a hero, even when his ideas are utterly ridiculous. And what makes this even funnier is how Ernest tries to execute his schemes, because there's no doubt that he believes in the logic of his actions, even when they make no sense to anyone else. It's his commitment to these bizarre ideas that takes the comedy to another level, because Ernest will take the most absurd plan and execute it with absolute sincerity, adding layers to his slapstick and verbal humor. Whether he's talking to inanimate objects or assuming a persona to outwit the trolls, his confidence is the core of his charm. And at the heart of Ernest's absurdity is a character who, despite his bumbling ways, is always trying to do good. His innocence and unwavering optimism make him lovable even when he's at his most nonsensical. The audience roots for him because, despite the fact that his plans are laughingly bad, his heart is always in the right place. And that combination of good intentions and complete ineptitude creates a perfect comedic storm throughout the movie. And the trolls in Ernest Scared Stupid strike a fascinating balance between being creepy and laughable, particularly the main antagonist, Trantor. Trantor's grotesque appearance, complete with slime and warts, initially sets him up as a truly frightening villain. However, the film undercuts his menace by having him regularly outwitted by Ernest's ridiculous actions. This juxtaposition between a terrifying creature and Ernest's bumbling behavior turns potentially scary moments into comedic gold. And despite their humorous elements, the trolls are still portrayed as a legitimate threat to the town's children, which adds to the stakes. And Trantor, in particular, is given moments of genuine menace, such as when he begins capturing the kids, but the tension is always punctured by Ernest's clueless bravery and his ridiculous attempts to fight back. Whether he's wielding household items as weapons or accidentally discovering the troll's weakness, the battles are as funny as they are suspenseful. And what makes the trolls especially funny is the movie's ability to maintain their horror design while placing them in absurd scenarios, because their grotesque looks are perfect for jump scares, but when they interact with Ernest, the solutions become so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh. And the visual contrast between Ernest's goofy antics and the troll's monstrous forms adds to the comedy, making every encounter a mix of tension and humor. And Ernest's physical comedy is one of the standout aspects of Ernest Scared Stupid, because Jim Varney's performance is a masterclass in slapstick. Whether he's getting tangled in his own inventions, stumbling over obstacles, or finding himself in completely improbable solutions, Varney's physicality is what keeps the audience laughing from start to finish. He uses every part of his body to create visual gags that are timeless, appealing to both children and adults. And one of the funniest moments is when Ernest prepares to take down the trolls with an assortment of homemade gadgets. Naturally, nothing works as intended, and Ernest ends up in increasingly ridiculous predicaments, whether he's accidentally trapping himself or launching into the air. And these sequences are filled with pratfalls, exaggerated movements, and cartoonish mischiefs that make the physical comedy feel larger than life, and every mistake Ernest makes is exaggerated for comedic effect, keeping the audience on edge, waiting for what will go wrong next. And the key to Ernest's slapstick success is Varney's impeccable timing and commitment to the role, because the way that he can switch from overly confident to completely confused in a split second creates the endless loop of chaos, and his exaggerated facial expressions and movements enhance every gag, making even simple actions like walking across a room into a full comedic routine. And Varney's mastery of physical comedy ensures that Ernest Scared Stupid remains funny no matter how many times you watch it. And Ernest Scared Stupid is a nostalgic trip back to the heyday of the 90s Halloween entertainment, because the film perfectly encapsulates the kind of lighthearted horror comedy that defined family movies during that era. For many of us who grew up during that time, this movie represents the best of what Halloween was all about. Fun scares that didn't take themselves too seriously, and characters you could laugh at and root for at the same time. And watching it now brings back memories of Halloween nights filled with playful frights. And the practical effects in the film contribute heavily to this nostalgic feeling, because the trolls are brought to life using makeup and puppetry, giving them a tactile, tangible presence that adds to their airy charm. And there's something special about seeing a physical monster on screen versus today's CGI creatures, because it feels more grounded and real. And this old school approach to special effects is part of what makes Ernest Scared Stupid so memorable, especially for viewers who fondly remember 90s filmmaking. And what's more is that the movie captures the spirit of Halloween in its playful, spooky atmosphere, because the small town setting, complete with fog-covered streets, pumpkin patches, and eerie forests, creates the perfect backdrop for a Halloween story. Even though the movie leans heavily into comedy, it never loses that festive feeling of Halloween night. And this blend of nostalgia, practical effects, and classic Halloween imagery is what makes the film such a beloved seasonal staple. And beyond the absurdity and physical gags, Ernest Scared Stupid has a surprising amount of heart, because at its core, the film is about Ernest trying his best to protect the children of the town, even when he's clearly in over his head. And his determination and loyalty to the kids are what make him such an endearing character, because despite being consistently outmatched by the trolls, Ernest's sincerity and desire to do good are what keep you rooting for him, because even as you laugh at his many failures, there's a warmth to Ernest's character that goes beyond the comedy, because he forms genuine bonds with the children, especially his young friend Elizabeth, and those relationships give the film emotional weight. While Ernest is often portrayed as a fool, his care for the people around him shows a deeper, more heartfelt side to his character, and this emotional connection elevates the film beyond a simple slapstick comedy, making it a story about standing up for what's right even when you're hopelessly unqualified to do so. And this heartfelt element is what makes Ernest Scared Stupid so much more than just a goofy Halloween movie. Yes, it is filled with silly moments and ridiculous gags, but underneath all of the chaos is a story about courage, loyalty, and doing the right thing. And that combination of humor and heart is what has kept the movie beloved for so many years, because it's a film that doesn't just make you laugh, but also makes you feel something deeper. Ernest Scared Stupid isn't just a Halloween movie that we watch every year. It's a timeless comedy that delivers joy every time. Whether it's the absurd antics of Ernest, the perfectly blended humor and horror of the trolls, or the nostalgic charm of its 90s setting, the film has a little something for everyone. Jim Varney's portrayal of Ernest is a masterclass in physical comedy and heartfelt humor, making the character impossible not to love. And no matter how many times I watch this movie, I always find myself laughing at Ernest's outrageous misadventures. It's a kind of film that never gets old, because it reminds us of the joy in embracing silliness and the fun of not taking life too seriously. So other than that, that is all I have to say about this movie. I just wanted to make this video, like I said earlier today, because I love all of the Ernest movies, and I definitely do plan on covering them all on this channel. But since we are in the Halloween season, I thought I might as well shed some light to Ernest Scared Stupid, because it definitely is, just like the other movies that I mentioned on this channel already during the Halloween season that I love to watch, is another Halloween movie that I can go back to at any single time and just watch it all over again and just relive all of those amazing memories and laughs that I did for the very first time whenever I saw the film. But if you guys have anything you want to say about this movie, like if there's a certain experience that you guys want to share with me when it comes to this film, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you guys want to follow me on my social media, be sure to check out my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok. All of that is located in the description below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe the video if you enjoy it. I would really appreciate it. Be sure to click on the bells for notifications so you guys are notified whenever I upload a video on the channel. But other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.